Hi, Greg here. We're going to talk about the push-up, which is the first major exercise in the pushing series. There's a few intricacies that I really need you to know and be good at before we get into too much pushing. So the first thing is doing low ab work. If your low abs aren't strong enough, make sure you go to the building block exercises and do all the training for low abs, because you're going to need to have fairly strong low abs to control your back doing these pushing drills. Okay, so first we're going to start talking about just the position itself. So you're going to start all the way on the ground, and for a regular push-up, when we talk about hand position, what you really want is your forearm to be pointing virtually straight down to the ground, and your elbows a little bit down from your shoulders so that they're not straight in line with each other. Okay? From there, we're going to talk about low back position. Now this is the most commonly done mistake, is not controlling the low back with, like I said before, with your lower abs the way you should be. So commonly I see people lifting themselves off the ground, the upper body comes first, go ahead. Upper body comes off the ground first, and then the pelvis and the rest of the body follows after. You really don't want to be doing that. That's tough, really tough on your lower back, and it's a sign that either your arms aren't strong enough to lift all of this weight, or your lower abs aren't strong enough to control your pelvis the way it should be doing. If your arms aren't strong enough and it's because you're trying to do this right from your feet, just drop to your knees and get through all of these drills from this position first. If your arms still aren't strong enough to do this, then what you can do is just what they call the negative part of it. You do as many as you can well with a nice body position, and as soon as you can't push yourself off the ground anymore, what you can do is just back yourself up, get yourself all the way into the upper position again, and just do the negative part of it. So slowly lowering yourself down to the ground, making sure that your chest touches first. Okay? The other option you have is to take a small yoga block and grade how far you're going down. So if you're just beginning doing this, you can set the yoga block on its side, right underneath your chest, go down, touch your chest to the yoga block, and then come back up. As you get stronger, you can lay the yoga block flat, come back up, do all your repetitions like that. You get stronger through there, now you can remove the yoga block and do your full push-ups. Okay? So really pay attention to your low back position and what's happening here. One thing I do with my athletes, go all the way down to the ground, to make sure that their low back is set, especially if I know they're already strong enough to do this, is before they lift themselves up off the ground, I get them to pull their stomach in so your TVA is nice and tight, and the pelvis and stomach leave the ground before anything else leaves the ground. That way, go ahead and lift yourself up, the body stays nice and flat when you're lifting yourself up off the ground. Okay? So this is all in the regular hand position. The two other hand positions I want you to work in, go ahead and kneel up, are the grasshopper, which is a tricep deltoid push, and the diamond push-up. So we'll start with a diamond push-up. What you're going to do is you're going to take your hands so that your fingers are touching together and your thumbs are touching together to create a small diamond. When you're doing your push-up, you really want that diamond to come right into the middle of your sternum. Okay, so go ahead and set yourself up. It can be hard to determine whether it's in the right position or not, so make sure that you do it on the ground first. Get your hands lined up, then go all the way back down again. Then you're going to make sure, again, that your stomach is all the way in, and you're lifting your stomach and pelvis up first, and press yourself up off the ground. Okay? If you're not strong enough to go all the way down in this position, this is actually a tough position to get all the way down to the ground, so I wouldn't expect you to go within a couple of inches of the ground is fine. So you don't have to go all the way down to the ground. Make sure your low abs are nice and tight. You lower yourself down, and then press yourself back up, okay? And use the yoga block or whatever you have to grade your performance or your strength over time. Do as many repetitions as you can. If you can't get to 6 or 8, make sure you do just the negative part of it. If you're going to do the negative part of it, you're not going to lift yourself back up doing this because you know you're too tired, then for sure, you slowly drop yourself, keep your pelvis off the ground, drop yourself slowly to the ground, and go all the way down. The third position is a grasshopper position. So you're going to set your arms like the back legs of a grasshopper, and you're going to have your hands right by your lower ribs like this, okay? We're going to go through all exactly the same things. You're going to draw your stomach in, lift your pelvis up off the ground, keep your elbows nice and tight, and what you want is you want the inside of your forearm to rub against your ribs as you're lifting yourself up. Go ahead and lift yourself up, okay? And again, as you go back down, get your forearms nice and close to your ribs, so that you end up right in that position. What you'll see with yourself as you get more tired, and what I see a lot of times in people that aren't strong enough to do this or getting tired over time, is the elbows come out. Go ahead and lift yourself up, and the elbows come out just right at the last second when they're trying to lift themselves up. Okay? So make sure you're not doing that. Okay?